Test, test. All good. Hello and welcome to Kingston City's ground here, the Grange Reserve for NPL round 24 action here in Victoria. The evening, as you might have seen, started with a solemn moment of silence for one of the relatives of the club officials here at Kingston City who's recently passed away. Kingston City come into the game off the back of a stirring comeback against the Bentley Greens with goals in the 88th and 94th minutes, seeing them come back from the dead to draw 2-2. The Melbourne Knights, on the other hand, had a 1-1 draw away to Green Gully. The lineups for both sides are in, and Kingston City keep almost the same 11 who started the last fixture, with only 2 changes to the starting lineup. One of them is the goal scorer who comes in to start. In place of Muad Zved comes in number 9, Ernan Inostroza, in that number 10 role. It's a 4-2-3-1 for Kingston City with Asugi in goals, Tidmarsh, Fedahajic, Sakizada and Bennett making up the back 4, Anthony Theo and Chris Irwin in midfield alongside Inostroza, and a front 3 of Ethan Yalaz, Damien Yakonis and Alex Caniglia. For the visitors, the Melbourne Knights, as we get ready to kick off here, they've really rung the changes in light of their big match coming up this midweek against Adelaide United in the FFA Cup. As we get things rolling here at the Grange. Early switch out. And Jurkovic winning the challenge. Here comes AJ Inya with a fine run past multiple players. The clearance ricochets back off him and out from a goal kick, which gives us a chance to go through the Melbourne Knights lineup. It's a 4-2-3-1 with several changes from last week's 11 in preparation for this game against Adelaide United, the big fixture over at Knight Stadium at Summer Street. With Hamish Watson and Mohamed Awad, 2 of the stars to drop out of the starting lineup. Jordan Gifkin starts between the sticks, still deputising for Harry Chakarun, who actually makes his return on the bench here today from that broken hand. Nikola Jurkovic starts at right back with Ivan Grigic and Aidan Bryce, the 2 centre-halves. Luke Jocic comes in at left back. Corey Sewell and Anthony Duzel as Kingston come forward here with Yakonis, offside flag up. Corey Sewell and Anthony Duzel are the dual screening holding midfielders with Calvin Whitney ahead of them. On the right is AJ Inya. On the left, Attila Offley and Gian Albano starts up front. Albano out to Jurkovic. Challenge coming in, tracking back. Was the winger Ethan Yalaz. Erhan, I should say. And it's a lovely spin move from Yalaz there. Cleared by Kingston. Physical challenge between Bryce and Yakonis. Duzel. Sewell. That was a little bit short for AJ Inya, and Kingston can perhaps spring away. Bennett gets lucky with the ricochet. It's Inostroza for Yakonis. Yakonis sizes up his options. Cutting inside and cuts it back for Theo. Theo winning a free kick. Theo have been quite the acquisition after joining from Dandy City mid-season following their transfer window splurge. And it is Theo over the set piece. Looks for the back post. Headed clear. And now in Nostroza. To the back post. Cleared by the Knights defence. And out into touch. It's Bennett with the throw. Nice defender gets a foot in, and perhaps Albano can spring the counter-attack. Appeals for a free kick. Referee says play on. Caniglia for Tidmarsh. And John Albano is still down. Might require some medical attention from the benches. Back up on his feet now, Albano, and play resumes. Kingston just swarmed out there, and now the counter-attack is on through Attila Offley. He's got Inya on the far side. Looks up, but the pass isn't good enough, and Hernan Nostroza was tracking back. Loose touch there from Yalaz. And it's cut back for Duzel. Back out to AJ Inya. Jokovic took a little too long on the ball. Heavy challenge coming in from Yalaz, drawing some real savage appeals from the Knights fans on the near side here. And referee seems to have brought play back here. It looks like it will be a corner here. Cross was deflected. Corey still to take. Some height in the box through Bryce. Through Jurkovic. Into the back post. Bryce is the target, but he just can't quite get enough on it. Glances harmlessly several yards wide of the goal. Sugi's goal kick. Nostroza was up for it. So was Bryce. Always favoured in that heading contest. The Knights defender. Appeals for handball. Nostroza. That through ball almost made it all the way through to Tidmarsh. But Knights will have the throw. Saul gives it back to Jokovic. Bryce into the feet of Duzel. Turned over. Bryce heads into touch. Here's Feta Hadjic, scorer of that dramatic late equaliser last week. Pretty spectacular effort, especially for a centre-half. Caniglia trying to combine on the right-hand side with Bennett. It's ricocheted harmlessly into the path of Gifkins, the goalkeeper who's deputised so ably for the injured Harry Shakarun. Albano. Twisting and turning under pressure. Duzel recovers. But Kingston win the ball in a dangerous area. Here's Iaconis. For Yalaz, I should say. Goes across goal, Yalaz. It's into the back post. And somehow the ball has eluded the target. It's out for a corner. Dramatic intervention at the last. But I think it was Luke Jurcic there. Kingston recovering possession. Bit of a panic ball and a needless turnover there. Gives the Knights the chance to reset. Jurkovic goes short to Bryce. There's acres of space and time. Looks up, looking for the run of Albano. It's Fedahadzic who cleans up well. Jurkovic. Trying to find an option here. It's Whitney. Turns it over. Yakonis, awkward bounce. Sewell heading back to his defence with Grigic. Restarting through Gifkins. Bryce. Good forward pressure from Anthony Theo. Referee making sure Jurkovic doesn't steal a few yards off the throw-in. Albano. Pass was too short. Inostroza intercepts. Looks for Yakonis. Just a loose touch. Lets Grigic back in and Gifkins is able to come out and gather. Sewell. Certainly a tight, compact midfield out there at the moment. Cagey starts the contest. Here's Sewell. That one's intercepted again. Big tackle. Covering challenge from Calvin Whitney. And that's chipped over the top, looking for Albano. But Fedahadzic is in on the cover. Corey Sewell on set-piece duty again. Becomes something of a cult hero for Knights fans after his move from Bulleen Lions in the off-season following their relegation from NPL. Playing in midfield today after excelling in a left fullback role for much of the season. Sewell's corner into the back post again. Last touch surely off Fedahadzic. No, the referee calls a goal kick. Saw something I didn't from the commentary box. Skims all the way through. Kingston not trying to build too much from the back at the moment, not taking any risks. Game plan, Nick Tollius, I should say, very clear from the outset, trying to force these turnovers high in midfield and spring the counter-attack. Appeals for offside against Attila Offley, which the flag was up. Pass was far too high for him anyway. Bennett's throw. Finding Caniglia, but the touch off the chest was loose. Offley. Sewell. It's given Yellows half a chance. Aiden Bryce has done well. It was a poor pass to him, and the Knights trying to pick out Calvin Whitney here. He's made a run over the top. Stuck in the corner, but he's picked out AJ Inya. Appeals for a free kick. And again, it goes unpaid. The Knights, as usual, bringing a healthy away support wherever they go. Now Konis' flick. Grigic. Jocic. It's a poor pass. And Bennett accelerating away. Grigic. Intelligent positioning to cover. Sewell. Trying to play out, but again it's turned over by the Knights. And here's Yalaz, big chance on goal, and Yalaz opens the scoring. Kingston City's game plan working a treat. And the Knights too careless in possession. Kingston City 1, Melbourne Knights 0. Erhan Yalaz heavily involved here early on. He's the man who gets the final touch. Very tidy finish into the bottom corner. And the winger who has struggled with injuries in recent years. He's on a fine run of form at present. And so are Kingston. Could they do it again? Could they make a late turnaround and avoid the dreaded drop? The Knights with plenty to do now through Attila Offley. Winning his individual battle. Centers it for Albano. Strike on goal from Whitney. It's charged down. I think it was Sakizada with the block on the edge of the box. Kingston City's attack breaks down again. Theo putting Jokovic under pressure. Dizel managing to find space. Gergic. His attempted pass is cut off. Trying to spring away here again, Kingston. What options have they got in the box? Gifkins manages to pick off the cross, much to the relief of the Knights fans to my right. Offley. Challenge coming in, no foul paid. Trying to center the ball. It's with Whitney in the end. Gets it back from Dizel, but a bit untidy, and that free kick will go the way of Kingston City. I think it was a handball while he was on the deck. It's Caniglia who lost it. But it's back in the centre of defence with Faisal Sakizada. Trying to play that direct ball again for the pace of Alex Caniglia. Sakizada captaining the side. 26 caps for his country. That's Afghanistan. Vastly experienced player. Albano battling for it, but he can't secure possession. Kingston City win the throw. Bennett with the early ball for Damien Yakonis. Trying to lay off. Jocic got a foot in. Sakizada clearing once again. There's no flag. Oh, there is a late flag, and he's collected him as Jordan Gifkins. Unpleasant collision. Gifkins really took him out there, and he's immediately calling for the medical staff to come over from Kingston. Concern here for the attacker on the deck. Coming out there almost reminiscent of Harold Schumacher back in the 80s. I think we'll see a lengthy stoppage in play here. Very unfortunate collision. So I'm not quite sure of the identity of the player on the deck. I think it might be Damien Yakonis, in fact. The leading scorer for Kingston City. Would be a real blow for them to lose him. 6 goals this season. Real clinical finisher up front. Obviously, the main concern is with the welfare of Yakonis, who seems to be setting up and responsive now. Kingston have the likes of Cooper Legrand and Muad Zved waiting on the bench for an introduction. And Yakonis now up on his feet. The free kick will go the way of the Knights, of course, because the flag was up for offside before the collision. Certainly no intent on the behalf of Jordan Gifkins running out. Immediate concern shown for his fellow player as soon as Yakonis went to ground. We do get restarted here. Kingston temporarily down to 10. Albano looking for support. Finds the run of Jurkovic on the right. Back with Sewell. Straza was tearing after him. It's Anthony Giselle's shot, which is blocked again. It's that man Sakizado, who's so often the wall between Knights and goal. Corner in the box. Sugi makes the punch. It's Offley sending it back in. Sakizada again is the man with his head on it. Sewell will see it out for a Knights throw. Jurkovic. Bryce. Duzel. Anthony Giselle, such a comfortable player on the ball. Scored the Knights' solitary goal in their 1-1 draw with Green Gully last week. And here's Aiden Bryce striding forward. Albano trying to play in Offley. The shot's blocked and cleared. The goal scorer, Erhan Yalez, trying to get that one under control. It was a difficult one coming over his shoulder right next to the byline. Dizel. Corey Sewell. Bryce getting more and more involved in possession, the centre-back, trying to send a through ball down the line for either one of AJ Inya or Calvin Whitney. That one rolls out of play with some velocity. It's been a frustrating evening for the Knights so far. Kingston City still with 10, still yet to make a change for Damien Yakonis, but I think we'll see it shortly after that heavy collision with the Knights goalkeeper, Jordan Gifkins. Jokovic with a free header. Theo putting the pressure on Inya. Inya is fouled. Dizel switching play. Now with Luke Jocic. Trying to play the 1-2 with Attila Offley. Doesn't quite come off. And the referee not quite sure about the substitution process in place. We'll see the change made very shortly. It will be Ali Suleimani coming on to replace Damien Yakonis. Maybe signalling something of a change in shape for Nick Tollis' side after taking that early lead through Erhan Yalaz. Suleimani more of a holding midfield player, replacing the out-and-out striking talents of Damien Yakonis. It's Inya turning out of trouble. Playing in Whitney. Trying to keep it in play, Calvin Whitney. Lovely turn under pressure. He was pulled back by Sakizada, but advantage was paid. That or the referee didn't think it was worthy of pulling back. Bennett playing a long ball to no one in particular. Of course, there's no one filling that role currently. With Suleimani still waiting for the ball to go out. Inya. Trying to play in Jokovic. The pass is just behind him. Sul. Trying to get the drop on, I think it was Irwin. Or Theo, I should say. That's a big tackle, and the referee will punish Nikola Jokovic with the first booking of the game. Certainly got plenty of the ball there, but referee didn't like how he went in for that challenge. And we will finally see the introduction of Ali Suleimani into the middle of midfield with some of the players pushed higher up the park. Perhaps Anthony Theo, who has a prolific goal-scoring record from midfield, pushing into a more of an advanced role here, number 16. Hernan Inostroza seems to be taking up a more advanced role as well, last week's goal scorer. Kingston ball. I don't think Inya was aware of the last touch being off a Knights player, otherwise he would have tried to intervene. He's Suleimani getting his first involvement. Theo, out to Yalas. Cleared by Aidan Bryce, captain on the night. Now Dizel. Slowing things down, Anthony Dizel. And Bryce taking on a player. Centre back, that takes some confidence. Bennett heading back to his goalkeeper, Asugi. Such a crucial game for both sides. The Knights trying to keep their top six finals hope alive. It's almost flickering in the last few rounds of this season. And, of course, Kingston City trying to escape the drop zone. Would be a massive win for them if they can hold on to this advantage. Still a long way to go, of course. Some scores from the games around the rest of Victoria. Dandenong City and Bentley Greens is currently sitting at 1-1. And so is Oakley Cannons and South Melbourne. Jokovic gets his ankles tapped by Yalas. Wins the free kick. Restarted quickly through Giselle. If the current result is to hold, looking at the live ladder, Kingston City would push themselves into that pro-rel playoff position, at least temporarily. Sul. Albano. Sakizada using his body well. Tidmarsh goes back to Asugi. Sending a crossfield ball for Caniglio. Couldn't quite get it under his spell. Grigic winning it from Inostroza. Jurcic looking to get the throw taken quickly. Here's Attila Offley. What's he got in the middle? Stands up his defender. Yalaz clears only as far as Corey Sewell. Send another delivery into the area. Fetahajic with his head on it. Calvin Whitney tearing around trying to win that ball back, but it's Kingston who come forward. Irwin couldn't quite keep it in play. Sakizada's header was an awkward one. Albano getting on the second ball. Sewell. Laying off for the strike from Calvin Whitney. It's blocked by Fetahajic. Inya. Loses out to Yalaz. Bit of pinball going on at the moment. Neither side able to keep any consistency in possession. That's a nice touch from Jurcic. Stepping in field. Suleimani putting the tackle in. Irwin starting the attack. And Aiden Bryce hasn't got onto that header. And it's Inostroza in on goal, but he has ballooned it over the bar. What a chance going begging for Kingston City. Hernan Inostroza, last week's hero, can't finish one-on-one. And Aiden Bryce is the most relieved man here at the Grange Reserve. What a chance. And then Inostroza, the man signed mid-season from State League 1 outfit Altona City. Giselle. Whitney again. Offley. Having a tough time getting any change out of Bennett in the right back position is Attila Offley at the moment. Bennett's throw. Gets it back. And Australia's a difficult one to control. Irwin. Yalaz doing very well to keep it in bounds. He's wrestled down by AJ Inya. The Knights fans don't like that decision. But it will be a free kick for Kingston. Around 10 minutes left to play here in the half, plus the lengthy stoppage we had for the injury to Damien Yakonis. Nathan Tidmarsh, tasked with set-piece duties. Puts it in the box. It's Sakizada's header. Very comfortable in the end. A long way out. Try and put one directly on goal. Bennett stepping in. Irwin. Chris Irwin driving forward, looking for his options. It's Erhan Yalaz. Little back heel for Tidmarsh. Crosses from the byline. And Tidmarsh was collected late by Nikola Jokovic. And Nikola Jokovic is in trouble here. And that's a second yellow card for the right back. He can't believe it. But he's off. Massive moment in this game here. Nikola Jokovic dismissed for 2 yellow card offences. Tidmarsh is still down after he sent that cross into the box. But the referee had no hesitation. And Nikola Jokovic takes the long walk back to the dressing rooms. The Knights are goal down, a man down, and things just got a whole lot harder. Kingston hoping Tidmarsh can continue here. They've already had to make one injury enforced substitution. Marian Svitkovic and the Knights coaching staff now have to think about how they reshape this team with only 10 men to play with. If they go to a back three, do they drop a midfielder? Do they make a substitution? Let us know what you think of the decision in the Facebook Live comments here on the NPL Victoria Facebook page, if you are indeed watching along on Facebook. Cross sent into the box for Kingston. It's a dangerous delivery. Sewell clearing once and then twice. Offley. Duzel. Long ball from Offley. Whitney's interception. Can't keep it in play. And at the moment, it looks like a back three for the Knights. Maybe a temporary solution. It's going to have to be a reshuffle for the Knights because at the moment their wide players are very advanced. Certainly gives Kingston an area to exploit on the break down those wings. At the moment all the players gathered in about an eighth of the pitch waiting for this goal kick. Sewell's header. Albano. Just a poor touch. He loses out. Sakizada. For Kingston. Send that long ball out to the right. That's almost being his trademark this evening. Theo's flick on Just wasn't on the same wavelength as his winger. Seems as if the Kingston wingers have swapped flanks for now. Yellow's going to the right and Caniglia to the left. Jocic with the throw. Into the feet of Albano again. Turning his marker, John Albano. Just doesn't have the options and has to play all the way back to his centre half. And appeals for handball. Play goes on. Kingston City having an opportunity on the break through Alex Caniglia. Looking to cut inside onto that favoured right foot, but it's a crunching challenge from Corey Sewell. Jocic. Back with Bryce. That ball's to no one in particular. Sugi will, I think, take his time over it. Gets things going again through Aiden Fetahajic. Sakizada. And Kingston have the visitors right where they want them at present. Sakizada content to play keep ball. Sugi will go long. Inostroza is penalised for handball. Sewell. John Albano. Jocic. Gogic stretching to intercept. It was Jocic running well outside his position, trying to play that through ball for Inya. It's picked off. And now here's Chris Irwin. Hounded by Corey Sewell. Tidmarsh seems to have shaken off any ill effects from that challenge that drew a second yellow card from the referee on Nikola Jurkovic. Here's Caniglia into the near post. Bryce can only clear as far as Theo. Theo was looking for the back post for Hernan Inostroza, but he was just on his heels. Not long left here in the first half. We'll wait how much stoppage time will be added. The sending off. Of course, an injury to Damien Yakonis, which is perhaps the one blemish on this first half for Kingston. Albano. Skipping past Sakizada. Crossing on his left. Sugi claims comfortably. Tidmarsh. Caniglia. Theo looking for Erhan Yalaz. Plays in Caniglia. Bryce winning the challenge. Jocic clears. Tidmarsh. Irwin. Tidmarsh, his radar was a little off from his teammate. That one's almost intercepted. Buzel has Inya on the right. He's trying to play the through ball in between fullback and centre back. Irwin. Bennett. Jocic winning the tackle. Early throw. Yala's bearing down on Jocic. He appeals for a corner. That'll be a goal kick though. Rather hopeful shout from the goal scorer. AJ Inu is being held. Referee pays the free kick. Dizelle. Whitney. Twisting and turning on the byline. Cross was deflected. Tried to play the back heel there to Waffley. Didn't come off. And now here's Yalaz. Sipping past one. Hard tackle coming in from Aiden Bryce. No, not going any further. Caniglia for Irwin. Tidmarsh. Starting again through Chris Irwin. Intercepted by Duzell. That pass is wayward. Kingston come out again through Aiden Fetahajic. And Suleimani a little frustrated with himself for overhitting that ball. The substitute. And we'll have 4 minutes of stoppage time added at the end of this first half. Board goes up from the fourth official. Most of those attributed to Damien Yakonis' injury. He was down on the turf for quite some time after that sickening collision with Jordan Gifkins. Suleimani looking for that loose ball. Dizelle did just enough. Whitney back with Sewell. Dizelle waiting for the run. The Knights with 10 men, it's only gotten more difficult for them to find options in midfield. Sewell's made a run from the defensive midfield position. That peters out. Flag up on the far side against Hernan Inestroza. Attila Offley trying to play some combination passing. It was a pretty ambitious effort on goal. And now Inestroza, big sliding tackle, crucial tackle from Aiden Bryce. And Inestroza is down. The Knights will play the ball out sportingly as the Kingston medical team comes on the field for the third time this evening. Will be a huge blow to lose Damien Yakonis and Hernan Inestroza in the same game, two of the more potent goal-scoring threats in this Kingston City team. Certainly a fair tackle from Aiden Bryce, all ball. Collected Inestroza in the process. And we have stoppage time in stoppage time. Temporarily, it's 10 versus 10 with Inestroza on the sideline. Chance for the Knights to get back into this game before the break. Duzel. Jurcic with a tidy back heel flick. Playing in Gian Albano. Goes down under the challenge of Feta Hadjic. Referee not interested. Jurcic. That pass is picked off. And Theo strides forward. Past the challenge of Sewell. Kingston City with a 3v2. What can they do here? Yalaz is onside. It's just been forced a little wide. That'll be a corner. Opportunity missed. Just as Anthony Theo broke through that challenge of Corey Sewell in midfield, you thought Kingston City had the opportunity to add to their 1-goal lead. Instead, it's only a set piece. Erhan Yalaz to take, the goal scorer. Feta Hadjic is up from the back. So is Sakizada. Owen bringing some height in the area as well. Left-footed in-swing into the back post for Sakizada, trying to centre it. It's on the strike for Tidmarsh, and it's just wide. The fullback striking on the volley. Foot or two wide of that near post. Bryce. Awfully trying to turn. That'll be Kingston's throw again. And that will do it for the first half here at the Grange Reserve. Certainly been a lot of drama with Erhan Yalaz opening the scoring for the underdogs Kingston City. And then Nikola Jokovic dismissed for 2 bookable offences, leaving the Knights really with it all to do come the second half. A couple of injury concerns for Kingston City. The only blemishes on a very disciplined and very effective performance. They lead here at the break, 1-0. I'm Josh Parrish. We'll see you in 15 minutes. Welcome back to the Grange Reserve here in the southeast of Melbourne, where Kingston City are leading the Melbourne Knights 1-0 at the break. To recap you on the first half action, if you're just joining us, the deadlock was broken by Kingston City winger Erhan Yilmaz, number 12, putting the ball in the back of the net from 12 yards or so. Very composed finish to put Kingston up 1-0. And Hernan Inostroza had a terrific opportunity to double that lead when he was through one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but blazed his half volley over the crossbar. The Knights, meanwhile, have dug a real hole for themselves with Nikola Jokovic, the defender, sent off for 2 bookable offences. So the Knights chasing a 1-goal deficit and down a man going into this second half. Can Marian Cvitkovic's side pull a rabbit out of the hat here? We are back underway. The Knights being forced into a back three here with Jurkovic dismissed. It's Grigic, Bryce and Jurcic, the back three. Midfield of Calvin Whitney, Anthony Giselle, and of course Corey Sewell, difficult to miss with his distinctive hairdo in the middle of the park. AJ Inya on one of the flanks, Attila Offley on another, and John Albano starts up front and continues in the second half. Long throw from Kingston City here. Giselle picking up the scraps. Grigic with the long ball. Sakizada sends it back where it came from. Offley. Irwin sends it into touch. We'll go through the Kingston City lineup rather quickly. They were forced into their own injury-enforced substitution, with leading scorer Damien Iaconis going off with a shoulder problem after colliding heavily with the on-rushing Knights keeper Jordan Gifkins. Here's AJ Inya trying to fashion a shot. It's charged down. Jurcic should intercept that one and does. Kingston City playing a 4-2-3-1 with Osugi in goals, Fetahajic, Sakizana, Bennett and Tidmarsh making up the back four. Iaconis was replaced through injury, and Ali Suleimani came on in his place, but not in his position. Ali Suleimani, a midfielder, with Anthony Theo pushed further up the field, and Hernan Inostroza pushed into the number 9 role. Into the back post for Yalaz. Appeals for offside. Yalaz hasn't touched it. And finally, the flag does go up with Yalaz intervening. So midfield three of Suleimani, Chris Irwin and Anthony Theo, with a front three of Alex Caniglia, Erhan Yalaz and Hernan Inostroza. Gifkins with the free kick. Fedahajic's header. Bryce steps in. Trying to find Albano, who's wrestling with Sakizada to try and win possession. A physical battle been going on with those two all evening. Knights really missing the hold-up and strength, that real presence that Hamish Watson provides. Of course, Marian Cvitkovic ringing the changes in lieu of their upcoming midweek game at Summer Street. Might have A-League side Adelaide United visiting the old ground out in Sunshine for perhaps the standout of the FFA Cup fixtures coming up. We've had 2 match days in the round of 32. I personally can't wait for that contest. Irwin's header. Bit of a high foot. Giselle wanted a free kick for the tackle that caught him late. Thrown in for Sewell, trying to keep it in. That one's gone over the line. Bit of a poor throw from Luke Jurcic has been elevated into the first team from the under-20s, I believe. So many experienced players not taking the field tonight for the Melbourne Knights. The player coach, Marian Svikovic, one of them, Joseph Franjic, Mohammed Awad, Hamish Watson, to name a few. Whitney. Jocic appealing for the throw. I have to disagree with the assistant referee there. Clearly came back off Erhan Yalaz, but perhaps the lino had the wrong angle. Bennett. Inostroza. Pressure on from Sewell. He does get a foot in. Whitney. Giselle. Whitney gets it back. Looks for a through ball for Albano. John Albano cutting inside here on his left foot, but it's straight down the throat of Asugi. The Knights have barely fashioned a clear goal-scoring opportunity in this fixture. Disappointing early on, and it's only gotten tougher for them since the red card. Of course, with the weakened lineup, certainly it was always going to be tougher to get a result here against a side desperate to avoid relegation in Kingston City. To update you on the results around the ground in just a moment. Bentley Greens have equalised against Dandy City for the second time after Zach Thompson had put them, the home side, Hajduk, up 2-1 before the break. And Oakley have taken a commanding advantage against South Melbourne after conceding early on from a penalty from Marcus Schrern. Harry White has been amongst the goals and they lead 3-1. Three simultaneous kickoffs here in Victoria is the finals race, the title race, the relegation battle hots up. Inostroza winning the ball back from Inya. And the referee will pull it back. And it's a yellow card, I think, for Aiden Bryce. Anthony Theo, the player, felled. Theo, who's been so impressive since coming over from Dandenong City, who really retooled in that transfer window, of course, bringing in those three former A-League stars in Santalab, Valeri and Adrian Leia. Many players had to make way because of the point system that operates here in NPL. And Anthony Theo has certainly made a great start to life in Kingston with 5 goals from 13 appearances. From midfield, nonetheless. Albano getting the run on Ali Suleimani, and he cuts back and beats him again. John Albano looking in the middle of the box. Can they get onto a second ball here? It's Duzel coming back onto his right. His cross is blocked. And another promising situation for the Knights fizzles out. Nice little clip ball from Caniglia for Theo. Driving at the Knights' back three. Touch to Yalaz, who thinks he was brought down there by Attila Offley. A bit of a risky challenge from the Knights winger. Certainly the ball was already gone there. Maybe he lost his footing and pulled him down, but there's no other reason really for him to make the challenge. Kingston corner, swung in. Feta Hadjic, so often the target. He can't win that one. Giselle for Whitney. Albano backing in to Tidmarsh. Kingston swarm with the numbers back, and it's been such a hallmark of their display this evening, the hard graft, the discipline. really shut down those transition moments and have made the most of theirs. Sakizada tries to play along again, but that one goes straight out of play. Grgic taking as many yards as he possibly can off the throw. He's Duzel finding Albano's feet again. And Albano being held, and the referee blows for a free kick. And Grgic, that time, penalised for stealing a few yards, this time from a free kick. Sewell is over to take the set piece. Grgic, and of course Aiden Bryce up from the back. Wouldn't be the first header that either of them have scored this season if they can get there not on the end of this cross from Corey Sewell. Bryce is the target. It was actually flicked on there and just wide in the end by, I think, Ivan Grgic. Maybe it didn't touch anybody. Certainly a dangerous delivery from Corey Sewell. And I think one of the Knights bench players or coaches is going to be booked here for dissent. Yes, a yellow card. The referee showing a yellow card to the bench. I'm quite sure who the offending voice was from the visitors' cohort. That part of the recent FIFA update, of course. Previously, coaches could only be sent to the stands, but now they are physically given cards. Bennett. Theo. Yalez is completely free on the far side. Erhan Yalez gets it on his left foot, cuts back. Theo trying to strike on goal here. Anthony Theo just wide and into the advertising hoardings. Big chance for Kingston City. Yalez looked to have all the space in the world, but the pass took its time getting to him. Knights able to just close the space down enough. Just do enough to put off the attacking players. Kingston may be overplaying the situation. Albano. Inya. Back with Whitney. Lofted ball into the middle for Duzel. Heads it down. Offley. Flags up on Inya. The ball's in the back of the net, but it won't count. John Albano putting the finishing touches on that one, but the flag was well and truly up, and the whistle had gone. Attila Offley, the player offside. Jocic. Back to Gifkins. Inya. Flicking the ball on. Yalas with the back heel. Inya's sliding tackle. And Bryce, not quite on the same wavelength as his goalkeeper. I think Gifkins thought he was going to clear it. He stepped over it and provoked a panic response from the Knights' number 2. Wonder if Harry Shakaran, who is on the bench this evening, coming back from that broken hand that he sustained before he could play in that last FFA Cup round, the derby against South Melbourne. Gifkins deputising ably on the night. Will he make a return in the FFA Cup midweek? Meanwhile, it's Caniglia's ball into the box. Grgic's header. Inya. Runs it out of play. Tidmarsh was looking for Inostroza. Instead, it's back with Irwin. Bennett for Caniglia. Steps in field. Past Corey Sewell. The pass wasn't quite there. Certainly some real individual talent in the Kingston City front line. They may be sitting right near the foot of the table, but they do have quality. And we will see a substitution being made here for the Melbourne Knights. Attila Offley comes off. Player coming onto the field is Luka Jurkovic. After his namesake was dismissed earlier in the contest, Luka Jurkovic makes his entry. His brother getting an early shower with 2 bookable offences, but the younger Jurkovic, can he do the family proud this evening? Jurcic's throw. Sewell's flick on. Away by Tidmarsh. Bryce is looking for Inya. Surely a corner. It will be. Last touch off Nathan Tidmarsh. Sewell is back on set piece duty after AJ Inya thought about taking it quickly. Sewell in. It's a dangerous one. Sakizada, an awkward ball to clear, but he did so. Jurcic was sent another long throw in. Sewell's flick on again. Jurkovic trying to bring it down in the crowded penalty area. He cuts it back. Calvin Whitney needed to take it first time. Appeals for handball on Yalaz. Play goes on and the through ball couldn't find the number 9 in Nostroza. Tidmarsh into touch. Still 1-0 to the home side here at the Grange Reserve. Erhan Yilmaz's composed finish. The difference between the two teams. Inya looking to take on his man. It's blocked and it's out for another corner for the Knights. They've had plenty of set piece opportunities this evening with no real clear reward. Certainly got height in the area. Substitute Luka Jurkovic adds to that. Of course, Grigic and Bryce up from the back again. Bryce goes up for it. It's beyond him. It's Inya with the strike. Blocked by Sakizada in the end. We'll have a repeat. And that one's curled out of play before it nestled rather safely in the arms of Asugi, the Kingston City keeper. That will be a goal kick. Always the danger with the outswinging corner. And Satoshi Asugi encouraging his team further up the field as he takes this goal kick long. Nostroza with a tough assignment against Aiden Bryce. Kingston fans were looking for a free kick for the push in the back. Meanwhile, Fedahadzic sends a long ball for Theo. Bryce using his body. Albano knocks it back for Sewell, who looks to play a quick ball. Asugi has to come outside his box and use his head there. AJ Inya was the man making the run on the right-hand side, of course. Chris Irwin looking to play a direct ball, and There is a free kick for handball against, I think, Anthony Giselle, and we will see a change here. And Muad Zved will enter the fray. Started last week in the number 10 position, but lost his place to Hernan Inestroza. And Erhan Yalaz, the goal scorer, is the man to come off. He's done his job. Can Muad Zved, the Polish-born player of Libyan descent, of course a representative for Melbourne Victory in the E-League, and lots of times hone those video game skills while he missed the whole of last season due to an ACL injury. And here is Mosved. We're going to press Grigic. Sakizada got a touch. Tidmarsh has to clear. Sakizada winning the ball off Inya. And here goes Alex Caniglia, the pacey winger. I'm going to play it in field. Irwin. Kingston City resets. And most of their opportunities in transition tonight. The centre-backs not taking too many risks and playing the ball out from the back, which was, of course, the Knights' downfall as they look to clear a dangerous situation. Kingston City with their very effective forward press, winning the ball high, and Erhan Yales burying the ball in the back of the net. Kingston coach Nick Tolios will want no such careless errors in the back line as they look to protect this precious lead. Irwin running down the throw. Jocic finds Whitney. He's back to goal, tries to turn. Well defended. I think it was Bennett in the end. Caniglia streaming forward. He has Inestroza in the middle. He looks for the difficult switch to Mosved, who brings it down beautifully, does Mosved. Sizing up Grigic. Grigic does well to stay with him. Mosved cuts it back. Theo strikes on goal. It's an easy save in the end for Jordan Gifkins. Mosved just showing us a little example of the pace, skill and goal threat that he does possess on his day. Albano will collect the throw after Bennett puts it into touch. Jokovic trying to turn against Feder Hadjic. Bennett again doing the hard yards defensively. Into touch from Caniglia, and we will see another change for the Knights. Second change of the evening. Calvin Whitney goes off. Coming on in his place is Caleb Mikulich. The man who returned to the Knights mid-season after a spell abroad. Jocic again standing it long, looking for Sewell, who's a regular target off those long throw-ins. They win a corner. And Corey Sewell will play ball boy here, trying to get things rolling as quickly as possible. Still struggling to get the ball to sit for him. Sends it into the arms of Asugi again. Satoshi Asugi has been a safe pair of hands between the sticks so far this evening. Hasn't been tested too often, and that's a lovely bit of distribution from the Japanese goalkeeper. Owen plays it down the line for Alex Caniglia. Mosved wants a handball. The referee gives a corner. An update from over at Jack Edwards Reserve, and Oakley Cannons look to be home and hosed now. 4-1 up in a great derby against South Melbourne. Harry White, Wade Decker, Tom Matthews, and Wade Decker again, all amongst the scorers. Dandenong City and Bentley Greens is still 2-2 with Webster's goal. The defender. Dangerously in from Sakizada. Nervous moment for the Knights. They turn it over immediately. Irwin will have a crack from an ambitious range. Sails harmlessly over the crossbar in the end. Yes, Jack Webster, the captain of the Bentley Greens, equalising in the 49th minute. And that one is still 2-2. Just as I've been speaking, Oakley have scored a fifth. It's 5-1. Sved. He's tackled by Grigic, wins the throw. Tidmarsh with the throw in for Moed Sved. Grigic getting the tackle lead again. He trying to make his own decision, but the referee calls for a corner. It will be Mosved to take this set piece. Let's see if his delivery is as precise as it is on the Xbox. Mosved's corner. Sakizada was the target. Aiden Bryce heads away. AJ Inya getting held back. Referee calls a free kick, but doesn't look like there's going to be a card for Nathan Tidmarsh. The Travelling Knights fans certainly letting the referee know about it. Grigic. Turned over by Anthony Dizelle. And Irwin sprinting away, but the ball had already gone out. It would have been a free kick for Kingston, but the ball had just gone out of play, and Chris Irwin is still down. Chris Irwin, who won a NPL championship back at South Melbourne in 2016 before joining Kingston the next year. Missed much of last campaign due to injury. He's also been on the books at Box Hill and Avondale. Sved Getting crowded out in the end. Couldn't reel it in. Here's John Albano, who's dropped deep off the front line. Back with Bryce. Switches for Mikulic, the substitute. He's forced back again, and just the organisation of this forward pressure from Kingston has given the Knights so many problems when they try to play out and find options between the lines. Ugic loses his footing as he tries to play that long switch. And it's telling in the end. Faisal Sakizada playing it back to Asugi. Gets it back again, does the Afghani international. Lovely touch from Anthony Theo, who gets past Jurcic and plays in Alex Caniglia. Well blocked in the end by Aiden Bryce. Mikulic will try and dribble his way out of trouble. And he was having his shirt held, although the referee showing reticence to show any more cards after dismissing Nikola Jurkovic in the first half. Jurcic was up for the header, but he could only flick it into the path of Caniglia, who goes down under the challenge from Bryce. Real duel going on between those two. No harm, no foul, says the ref, and it's out for a goal kick. Let's run through everybody. The assistant referee keeps his flag down, though. It stayed in play. Luka Jurkovic, he stepped past one challenge from Feda Hadjic, but as so often, the Knights have been able to break one challenge, but there's always a covering player, or seems to be, from Kingston City. Albano turning onto his rights. Irwin gets a toe in and sends Caniglia away. Feels for offside against Inostroza. Bryce. So. Mikulic. Bennett's challenge and Zved takes over, but Luke Jurcic was on the intercept. Kingston City satisfied with the yardage gained. In fact, it's still 4-1 between Oakley and South Melbourne, I've been informed. A fifth goal actually ruled offside. Someone comes off the frame of the goal, the support post, and behind for a corner. Tidmarsh taking his time to fetch this one. Tidmarsh with the in-swinging corner. The header in the end was from Anthony Theo. Must have taken a touch off a Knight's head. Perhaps from Bryce. Taken quickly by Zved. Nice touch. And Kingston City could be in here. It's Sakizada. It's flicked goalwards. And it's in. No flag. Anthony Theo scores. And surely that's all over Red Rover here at the Grange Reserve. Kingston City 2. Melbourne Knights 0. Anthony Theo gets his 6th goal in only his 14th appearance for the club. The 10 men of the Melbourne Knights deflated. And we will see another change. The third and final change for Kingston City. Number 9, Hernan Inostraza coming off. Coming on, the versatile number 19, David Antequera, who's in amongst the action immediately as he wins that challenge. The goal scorer, Theo, takes over. Plays it left, shot on goal. Blocked by Gifkins. Theo gets the rebound. Nice feet, centers it. Hearts in mouths for the Knights. Suleiman blasts over the bar. And the referee stopping play due to a head injury for Mosved, and they've just made their third change, Kingston City. Seems to be okay to continue Mosved. Maybe his neck giving him some issues. Irwin playing the ball back to the keeper. Irwin, who, just looking at the replay here, did have a crucial role to play in that goal for Kingston City. Beating a player on the outside, centering the ball for Zakizada. And that was Anthony Theo who applied the final touch. And Mosved putting on the afterburners to keep that one in play. Jokovic turns his man. Suleiman intercepts. Remember, the Knights have been playing with only 10 men since the 35th minute, so fatigue surely setting in now. Mikulic is fouled. It's his heels clipped, Caleb Mikulic. Mosved, the offending player. So plays it centrally for Duzel. Elegant turn and finds the feet of Mikulic. Tries to play a direct ball for Inya. Duzel winning the ball. Albano back to Jocic. Jokovic. Jokovic gets it back. He's a little isolated in that corner there. Antequera doing well to hold off the challenge, and now it's Caniglia sprinting away. Back heels to Zved. Zved, a step over, onto his left. Mosved. Well fielded by Gifkins, but too close to the goalkeeper in the end. Kingston looking to apply the finishing touches to this one. A win that would see them escape the relegation zone, at least the automatic relegation zone. An update from around the grounds. Dandenong City have gone ahead for the third time over at Frank Holohan Soccer Complex against the Bentley Greens. It is 3-2. Oakley Cannon still lead South Melbourne 4-1 after their fifth goal was ruled out for offside. Meanwhile, Melbourne Knights win a corner. Sewell's delivery. Jokovic was there. It's headed away. Mikulic's cross. Asugi came and didn't quite get there. Irwin able to clear for Caniglia. And now another threatening counter-attack on the cards. Poor ball. Anthony Giselle cuts it out. Suleimani winning the header though. Here's Irwin. Early ball inside from, I think it was Antequera, the substitute. Suleimani getting the jump on that pass. Ali Suleimani streams forward, but the release wasn't good enough. What can the Knights fashion here? We had some stirring comebacks in the NPL last weekend. Kingston City among them. They were 2 goals down and in a hole against Bentley Greens before scoring in the 88th and 94th minutes to pull a point from the jaws of defeat. The Knights with 10 men, though, in an unenviable position. Into the 87th minute or so here. Owen clears skywards. Heads down for Antequera. Caniglia tried to get onto that one. Instead, it's Bryce streaming forward. The Melbourne Knights about to make their third and final change. And it is the captain on the night, Aiden Bryce, coming off. In his place, number 17, Lachlan Campbell. The Knights always were coming into this one with one eye on that FFA Cup game on Wednesday. It's the A-League versus NPL clashes that always seem to produce the most interest in the FFA Cup, and this one should be no different with Adelaide United visiting Summer Street. Did make a lot of changes to the first team in light of that one. Couldn't call on the likes of Hamish Watson, Mohamed Awad, Joey Franjic, Mikulic on the bench, of course. Albano. So at this point, you start to wonder just how costly that red card to Nikola Jokovic has been. Knights unable to fashion really anything convincing in this second half. Irwin. His cross was blocked. Seemingly endless reserves of energy, Chris Irwin. Kingston City have committed the standard amount of forward players here, despite holding such a comfortable advantage, as 4 minutes of stoppage time go up on the board. Mosved instead looks to keep it in the corner. In fact, he's nutmegged his opponent. And here's Theo in the box. Theo strikes on goal. It's blocked. Sakizada was trying to get onto the rebound. Instead, it's Gogic who clears, having taken the captain's armband. Still got the danger out of the way, but couldn't pick out a teammate. Irwin under pressure from his opposite, number 7, John Albano. Suleiman. Bennett. Another contested throwing decision, and this one goes Kingston's way. Caniglia. Sakizada. Suleiman. So hard for 10 men of Croatia to really mount any forward pressure. As Kingston play keep ball in the back line. Tidmarsh couldn't find Zved or Antequera. Instead it's Duzel. Trying to play one on over the top for Luka Jokovic. The younger brother of the man who was dismissed earlier. He plays in AJ Inya, who steps inside one challenge. Turns back on his right. AJ Inya just wide. It was deflected. One of the clearest opportunities the Knights have had all evening. Albano takes this set piece. It's not beating the first man, which was Irwin. Caniglia. Zved. Caniglia. Plays a lovely through ball. Antequera stepped over it. Zved was there, but Gifkins came out and I think that one's almost taken out our cameraman here. I hope we're still on the air. We are still streaming. The dangers of NPL commentary. Meanwhile, the game goes on as we try and repair any damage to the equipment that's ensued. Almost a 1 in a million clearance there. And the referee calls time on this one. What a result for Kingston City. The Knights was always going to find it tough going down to 10 men in the first half after Erhan Yalaz had opened the scoring. Nikola Jurkovic saw his marching orders for a second bookable offence, a late challenge on Nathan Tidmarsh. And it was really an uphill struggle for the Knights from there on. Kingston City eventually adding to their lead in the second half. Anthony Theo converting a bouncing ball from close range to add to his goal tally. And more importantly, secure the 3 points for Kingston City, who at least temporarily jumped 2 points clear of Pascoe Vale and Dandenong Thunder into 12th place, out of the automatic relegation zone. For the Melbourne Knights, well, their priorities seem to be on that midweek FFA Cup clash based on the team selection, but this loss is a devastating blow to their finals hopes. 7 points separate them from their nearest competitors in the top 6, Oakley Cannons and Hume City, with both of those clubs still with a game in hand remaining. This is probably it for the Knights' finals chances. But Marian Cvitkovic will be hoping that the players rested will be able to put in one hell of a performance come Wednesday at Summer Street when they take on Adelaide United. Thanks for joining us here on the NPL Victoria live stream. I've been Josh Parrish. It's been a pleasure to have your company. And until next time, it's goodbye for now.